Hello, slingshot friends. This is Charles. Today, I want to tell you about a technique which will allow you to get the maximum power out of your slingshot. No matter what kind of slingshot you shoot, no matter what kind of bands you're using, no matter what kind of ammo you're using, there's a technique which is very, very little known. I guess it amounts almost to a secret that a number of shooters have been using for years and years and years, but most people are just unaware of it. So today I want to tell you about that technique, and then you too can apply it to your own shooting. Now, before I tell you about it, what I want to do is I want to show you some photos of some of the top shooters in the world, and every one of these shooters uses this technique. And so if you look at the photos carefully, by the time you've seen them all, you should be able to figure out what that technique is. So I'm going to take a break right now, and I'm going to show you the photos. After the photos have been shown, then I will tell you about this technique, and I will prove to you that it really does work. Okay, so have a look at the photos and see if you can figure out what the secret is. All right, I'll be back in a little while. Well, friends, were you able to figure it out from the photos? Just in case you missed it, I'm going to tell you what the secret is right now. Here it comes. Pay attention. Well, I know, you think I'm just fooling with you, but I'm not. What in the world do I mean by dress for success? Well, if you look back at those photos, you will see that every single one of those individuals was wearing a sort of clothing which we know by the name of bib overalls. That's right, bib overalls. Well, here is a photo of what that sort of clothing looks like, just in case you're from another planet and you're unfamiliar with them. That's right. if you want to get the maximum power out of your slingshot, what you should do is wear bib overalls every time you're shooting. I know, a lot of you are just not going to believe me, but I'm going to prove it to you, and I'm going to use a chronograph to do it. And after I've done the proof, then I will explain to you the science behind why it works. Okay, so let's head off to where I can do a little bit of shooting over the chronograph, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay. Hello, Slingshot friends. This is Charles again. I'm down here in the basement where I can do a little bit of shooting. I've got my chronograph set up. I'm just going to turn on the lights here so we can get a good reading out of it. And I'll turn on the chronograph. Alright, the chrony is now on. What I'm going to be shooting today is this 3/8" ammo. And I've got this natural slingshot set up, and it's banded with TheraBand gold in a little leather pouch. And I've got this string on it so that I can put the string around my finger, and it will limit my draw length to be exactly the same draw length for each shot. So I can put the ammo in the pouch. And now you see when I draw back, I can't draw any further than the string. The string limits the travel of the bands, and it keeps me from altering the draw length. So I don't want anybody to think that there's any way that I can cheat by altering the draw length of the slingshot from one shot to another. So the chrony's on, I've just turned it on, and the lights are on, so I'm now going to just take a shot across the chrony, and we'll see what the reading is. Alright, here we go. Shot number one. Alright, it says 150.0 feet per second. I'm going to get up, I'm going to zoom the camera so you can see that. I hope you can see it. There it is, 150.0 feet per second. Okay? Well, I'm going to zoom back out. There it is. And I'm going to just put the slingshot down. You can see that I'm just here in my regular old clothes. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just take a break here, and I'm going to put on my coveralls, and then I'll be right back, and I'll take another shot. All right. Hang on. Okay, friends, I'm back again, and now I put on my my bib overalls, as you can see, and so here I am, bib overalls on, and got rid of those other clothes, and I'm just wearing my bib overalls. I got a shirt on under it, but that shouldn't matter much. Okay, so my chrony is still on. I want to prove that I'm not doing anything funny, so I'll shut the chrony off. Turn it back on, so we'll get a completely fresh reading here, and I'll get my slingshot, and so here's my slingshot. I still have my string on it. Okay, so there's my string. I'm ready to go, and now we've got that 3/8" ammo again. I'll put it in the pouch. and I'll take my shot. Okay, here we go. And there you have it, 185.5. All right, let me zoom it just so you can see. $185.5. So that's a good 35 feet per second faster. And the only difference at all, no difference in draw length, 3/8 inch ammo each time, and the only difference was that this time I was wearing my bib overalls. Alright? So if you want to get maximum performance, maximum speed out of your slingshot, just get yourself a pair of bib overalls and wear those. Alright? After I take these off, I'll go back upstairs and I'll explain to you the science behind why this works. Okay. Hello there, slingshot friends. Well, I'm back from the shooting, and I told you that I would explain to you the science behind why wearing bib overalls gives you higher velocities. So, don't panic and run away, but I'm going to give you just a little bit of elementary physics which will explain it all to you. Just stick with me here and we'll talk about it. I'm going to come up close so you can see. I've got it all printed off here for you. So here we go. From Newton's second law, we know that force is equal to mass times acceleration. So that tells us that acceleration is equal to force divided by mass. Now from the equations of motion, it's easy to find that the velocity of a particle is equal to the square root of 2 times the distance over which an acceleration is applied times the acceleration. But remember, acceleration is equal to force over mass. So we're just going to put force over mass in here in place of acceleration. And we get that velocity is equal to 2 times the distance times the force divided by the mass. So, if you want to increase your velocity, what you have to do is increase the distance over which the force is applied, or increase the force, or decrease the mass. Those are all things which we know as slingshot shooters. So what does this have to do with bib overalls? Well, in slingshot terms, we have to go back up to Newton's second law. And Newton's second law says force is equal to mass times acceleration. But in slingshot terms, there is another interpretation of Newton's second law, and that other interpretation is that force is equal to the motion of your anatomy. Force equals motion of your anatomy. All right, so if you think about bib overalls are nice and loose. Now we can't go naked, we can't go out and shoot in the buff, because people get upset by that, and also you get cold, and as you know, when you lower your temperature, you don't shoot as fast. Okay, so the thing about bib overalls is that there is nothing which gives you as much room to move your anatomy as bib overalls. So, when you wear bib overalls, you maximize the motion of your anatomy, and when you maximize the motion of your anatomy, that means you're maximizing force, and when you maximize force, you will increase your velocity. It's as simple as that. So folks, get yourself a pair of bib overalls, maximize the motion of your anatomy, and you will increase the force with which you shoot your slingshot, and that will give you a greater increase in velocity. And in the example we saw downstairs, we got a 35 feet per second increase in velocity. Went from 150 to 185.5. That's almost a 24% increase in velocity just by dressing for success. Okay, friends, there you have it. I did a demonstration which was as clear as anything could be, and I've also explained to you the physics behind it. So I hope you will all now go out and get yourself a pair of bib overalls, and when you start shooting, you will notice a great increase in the power of your slingshot. All right, friends, thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you some other time.